Cameroon is one of the most geographically and culturally varied countries in Africa. Officially known as the Republic of Cameroon, it sits in Central Africa, but its position is so strategic that it is often described as a bridge between Central and West Africa. To the west and north it borders Nigeria, to the northeast Chad, to the east the Central African Republic, and to the south Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, and the Republic of the Congo. Its coastline opens onto the Bight of Biafra, part of the Gulf of Guinea and the Atlantic Ocean. This location has shaped Cameroon's trade, politics, languages, and identity for centuries. With nearly 31 million people and around 250 native languages, Cameroon is not simply one national story. It is a collection of many landscapes, peoples, and historical experiences living inside one state. The phrase most often used to describe Cameroon is Africa in miniature. This is not just a tourist slogan. The country contains beaches, tropical rainforests, savannas, mountains, volcanic highlands, and dry northern landscapes that approach the Sahel. In the southwest rises Mount Cameroon, the country's highest point at almost 4,100 meters, or about 13,500 feet. It is an active volcanic mountain near the Atlantic coast and one of the most striking natural landmarks in the region. Farther inland, the environment changes dramatically, supporting different ways of life, from farming communities to pastoral groups. This natural diversity helps explain why Cameroon has such a wide range of cultures, foods, music, languages, and local identities packed into a relatively compact territory. Long before modern borders, the land that is now Cameroon was home to many societies. Around Lake Chad, the Sa civilization developed in the north, leaving traces of a complex early culture connected to wider Sahelian history. In the southeastern rainforest, Baka hunter-gatherer communities lived with deep knowledge of the forest environment. Over time, different ethnic groups built local political systems, trade networks, and spiritual traditions. In the west and northwest, powerful chiefdoms and fondoms emerged, many of which still carry cultural importance today. These societies were not isolated. They interacted through trade, migration, warfare, marriage, and religion. This pre-colonial diversity matters because it reminds us that Cameroon did not begin with European maps. It already contained many organized communities with their own histories and authority structures. European contact intensified from the 15th century, when Portuguese explorers reached the coast. The name Cameroon itself is linked to the Portuguese word for shrimp, inspired by the abundance they found in the Wuri River area. Coastal trade expanded over the centuries, bringing new economic opportunities but also new forms of exploitation and external influence. Inland, major political changes were also underway. In the 19th century, Fulani soldiers founded the Adamawa Emirate in the north, linking parts of northern Cameroon to broader Islamic and political movements across West and Central Africa. Meanwhile, local chiefdoms and kingdoms in other regions continued to shape social life. By the late 19th century, Cameroon had become increasingly important to European imperial competition, setting the stage for formal colonization. In 1884, Cameroon became a German colony known as Cameroon. German rule brought infrastructure projects, plantations, military campaigns, and new administrative systems, but it was also marked by coercion and resistance. The colony was valuable because of its agricultural potential and strategic coastal access. Germany's control did not last as long as some other colonial empires in Africa, because World War I transformed the political map. After Germany's defeat, Cameroon was divided between France and the United Kingdom under League of Nations mandates. This split would become one of the most important facts in Cameroon's modern history. Instead of developing under one colonial system, the territory was shaped by two different languages, legal traditions, education systems, and political cultures. The French-administered territory became the larger part of Cameroon, while the British-administered area was divided into northern and southern Cameroons. French influence became dominant in administration, education, and public life across most of the country. English remained important in the former British territories, especially in the northwest and southwest. This dual colonial inheritance explains why Cameroon today has two official languages, French and English. But official bilingualism does not mean equal experience for all citizens. The country also contains hundreds of native languages, making everyday communication a layered reality. A Cameroonian might speak a local language at home, French or English in school or government, and another regional language in markets or travel. Language in Cameroon is not only cultural, it is also political. The road to independence was turbulent. The Union of the Peoples of Cameroon, known as the UPC, pushed for independence and reunification, but it was outlawed by France in the 1950s. This led to a violent national liberation struggle between French forces and UPC supporters, a conflict that continued even after formal independence and lasted until January 1971. In 1960, French-administered Cameroon became independent as the Republic of Cameroon under President Amadou Ahidjo. Then, in 1961, the southern part of British Cameroons voted to federate with it, forming the Federal Republic of Cameroon. The northern British territory joined Nigeria. These choices created the foundation of the modern Cameroonian state, but they also left unresolved questions about representation, autonomy, and the balance between French and English-speaking regions. After independence, Cameroon moved from a federal system toward a more centralized state. In 1972, the federation was abolished and the country became the United Republic of Cameroon. In 1984, it was renamed the Republic of Cameroon by presidential decree. Amadou Ahidjo led the country until his resignation in 1982, when Paul Biya, who had served as prime minister, became president. Biya has remained in power for more than 4 decades, making him the world's longest-serving non-royal leader. Cameroon is formally a unitary presidential republic, but in practice, power has been highly concentrated. Biya's Cameroon People's Democratic Movement dominates national politics, and the country is widely described as being governed in an authoritarian manner. This long continuity at the top has shaped institutions, elections, public debate, and opposition politics. One of the most serious challenges facing Cameroon today comes from the English-speaking northwest and southwest regions. Many Anglophone Cameroonians have long argued that the centralized state has marginalized their legal, educational, and political traditions. Some activists have called for greater decentralization, while others have demanded separation or independence. In 2017, tensions escalated sharply over demands linked to an Ambazonian state, and the crisis turned into open warfare. The conflict has caused displacement, insecurity, and deep mistrust between communities and the state. It is rooted not only in recent grievances, but also in the colonial split between British and French administration and the later abolition of federalism. Understanding Cameroon today requires understanding how history, language, and political power continue to intersect. Cameroon's society is religiously and culturally diverse. Christianity is the majority religion, but Islam has a significant presence, especially in parts of the north, and traditional faiths remain important in many communities, sometimes blending with Christianity or Islam in everyday practice. The country's cultural life is especially visible through music. Cameroon is known for styles such as Makassa, Njang, and Bikutsi, each connected to particular regions, languages, rhythms, and social settings. Music has helped carry Cameroonian identity beyond national borders, just as football has done. The national football team has been one of Africa's most recognized, giving the country moments of continental and global visibility. Culture in Cameroon is not a side note, it is one of the main ways the country's diversity becomes shared national pride. Economically, many Cameroonians live as subsistence farmers, growing food primarily to support their families and local communities. Agriculture remains central to daily life, but the country also has important urban and coastal economies. Douala, located on the Wouri River, is Cameroon's largest city, economic capital, and main seaport. It is the commercial engine of the country, connecting Cameroon to regional and global markets. Yaoundé, the official capital, is the political and administrative center, where government institutions are concentrated. Garoua is another major city, especially important in the north. Limba, in the southwest, has a natural seaport and sits near the coast and Mount Cameroon. Together, these cities show how Cameroon's economy is shaped by geography. Ports, rivers, highlands, and regional trade routes all matter. Cameroon is also connected to the wider world through international organizations. It is a member of the African Union, the United Nations, the Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie, the Commonwealth of Nations, the Non-Aligned Movement, and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. This wide membership reflects the country's layered identity: African, Francophone, Anglophone, post-colonial, and religiously diverse. Cameroon's story is full of contrasts. It is rich in languages and landscapes, but faces political centralization and conflict. It has vibrant cultural exports, but many citizens still depend on subsistence farming. It has a strategic location and major ports, but its history has left difficult questions about unity and representation. To understand Cameroon is to understand why one country can contain so many versions of Africa at once. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.